are predicting to win the actual tournament itself.
Your son is now on the screen. Of course, this guy has been making waves. Courage is who I'm talking about, OpTic Courage. He just competed in the E3 tournament that we saw and finished second place with his teammate, only to be finished off from
Kenneth
Ninja.
Fareed, baby. I'm a big NBA fan.
What a great player. What a great guy. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, Courage is awesome, and the thing that's nice as well is, of course, we're talking about his grinding, but he's also an incredible player at this game. It's not just like, oh, he puts in the hours and the streaming ways. He actually happens to be a fantastic player at this game. I mean, he got second place in the duos for a reason. So, that's obviously something to be kind of keeping in mind as the matches do progress. Of course, we also bring up OpTic Baldy, recent addition to OpTic Gaming. But one thing that I wanted to add is that you notice where NICKMERCS and Sypher are on the map, right? You take a look in the top right of their screen, just outside Tilted Towers. They definitely went there because the amount of frags that they have, plus in turn with where they are on the map at the moment, they most likely went tilted, and thankfully it worked out for them for the time.
And I think this is what's so interesting about watching not only the FaZe guys, but this new addition of the OpTic roster from Baldy is that they didn't necessarily in the last tournament, super hot drop everywhere. They were dropping in very strategic positions and then making their way into more of those populated areas. You see Baldy and Courage might have, it seems like they dropped over there. I mean, he's coming over here from what? Wailing Woods? And then Baldy's on the other side of the map. He's over here on Loot Lake. I mean, he's already got 5 kills, Courage with 3. The whole goal here, it seems like they separated off the rip, actually.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting, right? But I like that they're doing that because I want to see OpTic Baldy, of course, being the newest person, at least in our competitive scene. I want to see him kind of develop as a player, and him being by himself, going out there and still ripping up the competition is definitely a good thing, at least when it comes to his overall competitive feel throughout the scene. But overall, pretty evenly. I was a bit nervous because NICKMERCS wins down, but Sypher was able to win his shots. He got down to about 59 health, but still able to win a good battle and revive his teammate to keep the game alive. But good stuff between them so far. But yeah, Courage and Baldy, I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table here.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the loadouts as well for both of these squads. I mean, coming out of Tilted Towers, you'd think they'd have some pretty good loot, and it's decent, right? I think NICKMERCS has a blue AR. When it comes down to Sypher's loadout, he's got the double pump, the green double pumps and whatnot. And regarding Courage and Baldy, I mean, they have decent weapons and whatnot. Nothing too scary by any means. But one thing that I can note, right, is that we do see rockets actually in the back pocket there from Courage, which we talk about explodes, in the recent patches and whatnot, how those have kind of come into play, and how they've kind of been limited regarding structures, regarding a number of different things. I mean, Fortnite has changed within the last week and a half drastically to where teams are playing a lot differently. Competitive, obviously, we talked about being changed up. The Fortnite World Cup going now into 2v2s and to solos. I mean, how does that affect a number of different factors? But one thing to me, without question, has got to be the impact of how explodes are no longer as present as they used to be.
Yeah, definitely. So that reduction of 50% was a huge reduction that I don't think a lot of people saw coming. And of course, eliminating explodes out of the llama was a big deal in fact. But I've kind of enjoyed it because now we're seeing more versatility. But one thing that is surprising to me is at least what we're seeing still more double pumps come back. We know with that recent nerf, right, 10 damage off of the crit as well as the other hit. The double pump is still making a comeback even after that. Because last tournament we saw a lot of heavy shotgun usage, right? It was a pump with a heavy.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing pump and tack as well. Legion, you've been playing since the update. I know you've been playing quite a bit.
I've been grinding out on the Nintendo Switch, and I just want everyone to know that if you want a confidence booster, definitely check out some Switch gameplay for yourself here, at least in the beginning. Anytime you see a new game drop on a platform or a console, if you've already been playing on another one, you've definitely got a shot of dominating. But no, I've been playing quite a bit, and you're talking about the explodes being decreased. I mean, you're not only talking about versatility, but you're seeing this pump combo coming back, and of course, I'm seeing a lot of pump tack shotgun combos because that pull outlet switch, and of course we saw last week the heavies being a lot more prominent, but you're having to use these rockets more sparingly, and as you can see, it's been 2 minutes, and he's still got 6 rockets in the back pocket no matter how many engagements he's been in, because if you're going to get in that last gunfight, I'm telling you, those explodes really come into handy when you're trying to take down those larger builds versus just trying to get a kill with it when you could just be using a shotgun instead.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of pro players even kind of being in the shotgun discussion as far as what exactly what should the loadout be in certain situations, and people have been saying unless you have a double pump regarding singles, probably go with the tack over the pump whenever you don't have doubles of either of those weapons. So definitely something to kind of keep in mind, but heavy shotguns are definitely a factor at the moment, as it looks like Courage does get fully taken down. Baldy not going to be here in time to go for the res in any way. Of course, is trying to go for the speed building, trying to kind of resurrect his squad mate in Courage, but an early drop, I wouldn't say an early. I guess when it comes down to the game, it's pretty far in, but yeah, for the most part, Courage being lost in this game, it's now on Baldy's hands.
And I think he's in good hands. Baldy's been playing well. I mean, look at his building skills. I mean, they're absolutely phenomenal. Of course, he does have that jump rock in his back pocket, which is why he's able to build so well. He's going to go ahead and retreat a little bit, get his meds up just a second. But another addition that I wanted to talk to you guys about, the thermal AR was just added into at least not competitive play, but on top of that, public matches as well. What do you guys think about it?
I want to ask Legion, how is the thermal on Switch by chance?
My goodness, man. Yesterday I was able to pick it up right outside of Loot Lake, and it was just like when people aren't moving at all, which is pretty much my entire experience so far on that platform. I won 3 or 4 solos in a row yesterday with the thermal in the back pocket, actually. Oh. It's disgusting. I mean, that and the fact that, I mean, you can see through build material is pretty much a cheat code. Yeah. I mean, it's a slow fire rate, so you see people being a lot more proficient with it, I feel like, actually on PC, because when I'm playing on PS4, I feel like I can't hit anything. Which might just be because I'm terrible. But, you know, it just really depends. I mean, look at this. Baldy just dropped another 3 players here, 12 kills for him. I believe Courage had, 6 before he went out? So, I mean, they're still definitely in a pretty good lead, especially with only 9 engagements left for NICKMERCS and Sypher to try to make that comeback.
And I love how NICKMERCS is moving over to where Baldy's at. He's like, Baldy, you're getting too many kills now. You're starting to get out of control. He's going to go ahead and meet up and try and get some kills himself along with Sypher. He is taking some massive damage, but there's that teamwork we've been talking about, right? These teams meet up and they try to steal each other's kills. NICKMERCS tried to get that kill, and I believe he got it, but Baldy was right there behind him trying to pick it up himself. Now they're going to be caught up in a storm, but they should be okay in order to get out of it. But going back to that thermal, there's one thing I want to ask you guys. You know, they were relating it to the Zoom as Tfue likes to refer to it. Of course, I'm talking about the scope they are. Do you guys think it has that 100% accuracy rate? Because for me, it seems like it doesn't. At least for me using it, it seems like it's a bit inaccurate. Overall, still powerful, but I think it kind of balances out.
I think the fire rate is a little bit inconsistent with aiming. I feel like it's supposed to shoot like a laser, but I'm still at the point where when I'm shooting with it, I don't really know if I need to just be directly on my target or if I need to lead a little bit.
Right.
Because I feel like it kind of alters. But I think that's something they're definitely going to have to work on.
And one thing that I've been seeing a lot of people kind of discuss with that particular weapon too is like, oh, you know, it has its negatives. It's a matter of like, you know, it has the delay between shots, which I can understand that. But a lot of the time, you don't necessarily want it to be a weapon to fire on. It's just for knowledge, right? The vision that you get with that weapon to know where squads are, especially in our Friday Fortnite tournaments regarding where the player's at, where the kill's at. I mean, I think they're going to be so influential when it comes down to our tournaments because it's a matter of where these guys located. And you might not even use it regarding the game because players might be behind structures. You may not have your opportunity. It does do quite a bit of damage when you have the spot to do it in. But what you really want it for is to know where should I be rotating next? Do I need to go toward north of Salty Springs? Should I be going toward the western side of Tomato Town? Yeah. I mean, just the ability to know where players are is the key to winning these games. And I think if you have that rifle in this tournament, you'd be stupid to not take it.
You know, I like that. I like that analysis from you. Getting back to the game, his current score is 20-10, right? Courage and Baldy have been performing exceptionally well. Of course, NICKMERCS and Sypher, a dominant team. Sypher, if you go to his streams, he's so knowledgeable. He's always talking about the plays before he even makes them, which, by the way, that's a talent that I would love to be able to see the future. You know, all right, I'm just going to build this wall. He's going to destroy it. I'm just going to pump him to the face. You know, like stuff like that is just so great. But Sypher, very knowledgeable. NICKMERCS is he's a bro. He's a great player in general. But to have a 10-point lead, at least now when Courage gets dropped already, how many, like 21 engagements still remaining? Baldy's been pound for pound keeping up with this duo squad, just showing that, hey, he's a great addition for OpTic.
Well, I think he's more than keeping up. He has more kills by himself than NICKMERCS and Sypher combined. So, I mean, if that's a credit to being on OpTic, I don't really know what it is.
17 kills for Baldy.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like when I watch players like Baldy play or the FaZe guys or even TSM, I feel like their rotations around the map are some of the most impressive amongst all the players that we watch because you don't see necessarily hot drops from these guys every single time, but what you see is you see them down at the beginning of the matches. Maybe the other team that lands tilted gets up 5, 6, 7 kills. Next thing you know, at the end of the game, all of a sudden you're looking at Baldy with 18 frags. It's like, what's going on, Baldy? What are you doing? What's the secret?
He just stole a kill, actually, right out from Sypher's nose. I think Sypher was being aware that NICKMERCS had happened to just drop. So as Sypher starts to turn around, Baldy is already there with the kill. He's up to 18. There's a potential to get 2 more. He could drop a 20 bomb along with Courage's 6 or 7. That's going to be a heavily decent lead. And like I said, Baldy's carrying the load by himself. Like Courage dropped with, I think, around 20 players left, which is a pretty decent margin. But I think Baldy's found nearly every single one. And one thing that we actually see him do there is the edits. And I think regarding Baldy's gameplay, one thing to be noting is his insane edit ability. When he's in different gunfights, some players are just good at building, kind of getting ramps, getting high ground advantage. What Baldy is good at is quick quick edits, hopping in your face with the shotguns. He likes to double pump. He likes to rock the tack at times as well. This guy is going to be incredibly scary to face off against because, of course, you don't have the ability to edit those walls. He has the knowledge to challenge whenever he feels necessary. So you have a guy who automatically has great gun skill, obviously has great building ability, as we just see here, but also has the knowledge to know when to engage on his terms. I think that's going to be very scary to see.
And now, just taking a step back at looking at Fortnite in general, how amazing is it that we are having a $20,000 tournament for a video game where you can literally jump on a trampoline to soar over to someone to murder them?
Or ride
I
a
can't
shopping
believe,
cart.
yeah. Which, by the way, we need those races to come back. We talked about this last week for forever. It's just so much fun. I mean, you're witnessing stuff like this in a serious moment. Like, and he's going to take that trampoline across here, and he drops down and hits him with. You remember the Easter egg explodes? That they had for a while. It's like it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I was happy they brought back the grocery cart, the shopping cart, because that was something they took away for a little bit. And the only reason because they were manipulating, they were able to get on Spawn Island, which you smart people out there have always find a way to break the game somehow. But they were getting on Spawn Island, they kind of adjusted that, and now they brought it back. But I was sad for a couple. I was like, where'd it go?
Yeah,
you know. But score on Street Lit at 13-23. We have a 10-kill lead.
Can I also point out quickly, at Tilted Drop, no lead. That's a point for Landon so far.
Landon is obsessed with not dropping Tilted.
Which is so funny because in the beginning, though, we were all about Tilted.
Yeah, everyone was like, bro, Tilted is the way to go. It's Tilted or die, like ride or die. And now it's to me, it's the total opposite. After watching our teams play, or our duos play, and the strategy that they've implemented, to me, it's like, I'm staying away from Tilted at all costs. But hey, I just got to bring it up from time to time, right? A 10-kill advantage, which... When Baldy's on the map, it really doesn't matter where you go because Baldy's absolutely insane. But still, you go Tilted and you're down 10 after the game. I don't know. Maybe Tilted's not the way to go. But NICKMERCS and Cypher, they're obviously a fantastic team. Obviously won week 1 of our Friday Fortnite tournaments as well. And they're going to keep doing it. It wouldn't surprise me if we come to this next match and they keep going Tilted.
I think they're going Tilted
the entirety of the way through.
I think no doubt. I think even if they had a lead regardless, I think they're going Tilted. That's just like their spot to go to. That's the spot they love to go to. And if anything, they'll always find a way to find themselves at Tilted.
I want to see some wave engagement. Just one team squad after the other. Constant impact. If they're going to take that 10-kill deficit, I mean, they're literally going to need that kind of action if they're going to keep hop dropping Tilted.
Right.
Because you get those times where you drop Tilted and you're like, oh, the whole server went Lucky Landing for some reason. So I'm going to loot everything, and then I'll find them at 30 frags remaining in the game. So
that's true. There's always like going to be positives and negatives to going Tilted for the most part. But yeah, you do have those lobbies randomly where there happens to be 85 guys going risky reels, and you're like, I don't know why this is happening, but I'm going to go ahead and leave the game.
For the new challenges.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
I was playing. The challenges will like risky reels, like you just said. I know there was a lot of. Is there a challenge right now for Salty? Because I was playing last night. 20 people went salty, and I was salty at that point because I'm like, there's no way I'm getting out of this alive.
I see what you did there, Taylor.
You saw that, right?
My brain just exploded.
I was so because it's like 20 people. Why'd you guys all go to Salty? Like they probably knew I was going there. That's probably why.
Yeah, they were stream watching.
Oh, for sure.
Stream watching my stream that doesn't exist.
And they were behind you though.
Absolutely.
Reflections is in the lobby.
He just has a webcam that oversees his gameplay from behind.
Second game going in. NICKMERCS Cypher, Courage, and Baldy. 10-kill lead for Courage and Baldy. Now, NICKMERCS and Cypher, how do they respond? Like we said, I believe they're going Tilted. Looks definitely like they're going to be going Tilted. But do they split up? That's something we've seen in the past. Doesn't look like they're going to be doing that. One thing I do respect about NICKMERCS and Cypher, they're like PB and J. They always stick together, and they always work best together.
It's true. And speaking of PBJ, we talked about trying to get that bread, bro. They're trying to get that money, trying to get that cash, $20,000. And, I mean, obviously, we talked about the losers bracket, how difficult those are. Going down in winners round 1 and having to kind of stare at that mountain from the very, very start of it. I mean, that's going to be a difficult run to make, but this is their opportunity. This is their way to bring it back, and it looks like, oh my gosh, NICKMERCS has taken 2 shotguns to the backside, and he's going to be taken down within the first few seconds, and now it's left all in the Cypher, a gray tack, and a dream.
Yeah, that's something we talk about. Tilted, he's already down. That's going to be it. So, OpTic Courage and OpTic Baldy already winning their first match.
Yeah.
Which, hey, that's the thing about Tilted, and that's one thing I know that triggers you.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying a word.
Tilted is such a volatile place to go to because, yeah, you come out with a considerable amount of kills, but obviously you can also go down pretty early in the game.